Hello everyone and welcome back to the Rogue Gentleman YouTube channel. Now, I don't want to dwell on this whole COVID situation too much, but I just want to say to anybody watching this film, I hope that you are doing very well and that you are keeping safe and you haven't resorted to tearing out your hair yet. At the time of recording, I was very happy personally to hear that a vaccine has been approved for use here in the UK, so I'm hoping that we are in the last slog and give it a few more months and hopefully we'll see some sort of normality returning back to our lives. So one unfortunate consequence obviously of this madness in the world is that the Rogues and I haven't been able to create any content for this channel this year. Obviously a lot of our content is based on adventures and travels and trips that we're sharing with each other, and given the current circumstances, understandably we just haven't been able to do this year. And at any time that we have seen each other, to be honest, we just wanted to have a catch up and we're not focusing on making any videos or films, which again, I'm sure that you can understand. That's not to say, however, that we haven't been doing other things, and I personally just wanted to make a quick video today to share with you the things that I've been up to, because I've been doing lots of little things in the background, and some of which I'm really proud of and want to make you guys aware. Because as you will see later, it's not just for my benefit but for lots of people's benefits as well, and I really want to get you on board with some of the things that I've been involved in. So without further ado, let's begin. The first little thing I wanted to share with you is an achievement of mine that has been an aspiration for a very long time. For anybody watching this video who's been following our channel for a little while, you may have seen not only our travel and adventure films but also little films that I've made with my friends, and also heard me talking about the blog that I write. You can probably guess then, I am a huge fan of the creative side of life, shall we say, and one of my favourite mediums, as it were, is writing. I've always enjoyed writing and really enjoy the idea of bringing stories from my mind down onto a page, whether that be for a book or for a script. And it's always been an aspiration of mine to have something published. However, I have not always had the confidence to do anything with the stories that I've written, especially storybook ideas, because I've never received any sort of formal training. My background is very much theatrical, and I've never done, for example, a creative writing course, so I've never had the confidence to go out and do something with it. But one of the teeny tiny small silver linings of the lockdowns is that I suddenly found myself with a bit more time, and I decided that I should finally do something about my stories, because it's something I want to do, and the only way that I'm going to be able to change it, I realise, is that by actually doing it. So I am very excited to announce that I'm very fortunate to have had 2 short stories picked up by an online magazine called The Writer's Egg. Now, The Writer's Egg is an online magazine. I've just printed my stories out because I'm obviously that kind of person. But it's an online magazine, and I will post the details for their website in the description below. But it is an e-magazine, so when you purchase it, you get sent a link, and then you can download the story from your email inbox as a PDF file, and then you can do what I can do, print it out, read it, or you can read it online. So I have made 2 appearances. I have appeared in issue 2 and issue 4 of The Writer's Egg, and both my stories are very different from each other. So I don't want to ruin the stories for you, but one is called Bodrick the Bard and the Tale of the Last Tea, which is a very much fantasy focused novel. It's a humorous piece, something a little bit silly, not trying to take myself too serious. And my other story is called Inside the Darkness, which was released at the time of Halloween and was the first time that I applied my hand to some horror writing. It is a very different story to my first one, quite scary, I'd have to say, but if you would like to go and read them, please do visit the Writer's Egg magazine website. The issues are about £5 each, I believe, and I think they're up to issue 5 or 6 now. And I should also point out that apart from my 2 little short stories, there are also, how many pages? Over 100 pages more of material, short stories, poems, flash fiction, artwork, so paintings and things, just a whole host of stuff. And for a £5, yeah, I think it's an excellent deal. There are a lot of very impressive writers in here, which I don't hold a candle to. So if you are interested in having a read of one of my stories, I would be very, very grateful. And as I said, please visit the Writer's Egg magazine and purchase one if you can. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about was, apart from stories, I have also started a podcast. It's a podcast I've started with one of my very, very talented friends, Christopher Blackmore, and it's called The Weird and Wonderful Tales of Blackmore and Broad. It is, in essence, a humour comedy series where in each episode the two protagonists, Blackmore and Broad, take on a new role, and it's a different role in every episode. So I think for our pilot episode we were undertakers, in the episode that we've just released we're mime artists, and the episodes, which is about 20 minutes in length, follow them as they start their new jobs before things very, very quickly get a bit weird, get a bit odd, to humorous, albeit tragic consequences. Obviously I'm biased because I wrote it, but I think it is very, very funny, very, very entertaining, and I think, especially considering what else is going on in the world at the moment, it will bring a smile to your face. I'm going to put a little short clip of our pilot episode at the end of this video so you can have a quick listen, and then if you fancy listening to the rest of the episode and our other episode, I will put all the links at the bottom in the description, but you can also find it by searching The Weird and Wonderful Tales of Blackmore and Broad on any of your podcast providers, so Apple Podcast, Podbean, Audible, iHeartRadio, Spotify, any of those, we're on it. Please go and give it a listen. It's just something that we're doing for fun. It's a little bit silly, but I think it's just a great excuse to make some really humorous content, and I think genuinely something that you will enjoy. And the final thing I wanted to talk to you about is probably the thing that I'm most excited about, because I have very, very fortunately and unbelievably had a couple of my photos selected to be in some calendars next year for some pretty fantastic organisations. So the first calendar that I have a photo appearing in is the 2021 Countryside Alliance calendar. Now, for those who don't know who the Countryside Alliance are, they quite fittingly describe themselves as the voice of the countryside. They are an organisation that is set up to support rural businesses, people who live in rural areas, and do a great work in the communities, and just ensuring that people who in the countryside who may have otherwise feel left out are heard. They get involved in discussions with MPs, for example, and really bring countryside and rural problems to the forethought of especially politicians' minds. So this can be picked up on their website at the minute. I believe it is around £10. And if you are interested in which one is specifically my photo, well, I will tell you that I am Mr. February for next year. So this is a photograph that I took of some fairly moody looking sheep, shall we say. But obviously, apart from my photo, you get a whole host of very, very aesthetically pleasing photographs taken by a great number of contributors, all amateur photographers. From what I know, I'm certainly an amateur photographer, but it's a really, really good quality calendar, and personally for me it's somewhat unbelievable that I have a photograph making an appearance in one. Obviously, if you do pick up a copy, the money goes towards the organisation, and they obviously then use the money for all the work they do. So not only are you getting a really, really good calendar, but you're also helping out rural communities. And a very good opportunity to do so, I think. Now, the next calendar that I'm involved in is doubly exciting. So if you've been a fan of our channel for some time, you would have heard us in the past talking about the charity Save the Rhino. Now, it's a charity that we have supported for a very, very long time. It started off with us just making a video raising awareness of their charity because we thought they were doing a really, really good job. And then we were approached by them a short while after, and they asked us to make them some films for their, I think it was their 2016 Save the Rhino Day campaign. Now, our videos are up on their YouTube channel. They've had thousands of views, and it was really exciting to be part of a project, especially for a cause that is so important. I've made videos on this before, which you can see on the channel, but I personally feel that rhino conservation is very, very important, and it affects us more than we can ever fully appreciate. So please do check out some of our past videos if you want to know more about rhino conservation. So you may have guessed from that I have a photo appearing in the Save the Rhino calendar for next year as well. So this is the calendar that Save the Rhino have produced, and in this calendar I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, that I am May. I am indeed May. So Mr. May for the Save the Rhino 2021 calendar. Now this photo is a very special photo for me because it was the first time that I had seen rhinos in the wild, and this photo was taken when Ben and I went to Kenya. And again, there are more videos from our Kenya exploits on this channel, but as you can see, it's an adult and a calf, and it was a very, very special moment because I'd only ever seen rhinos in zoos and things before. To actually see them in the wild was a breathtaking experience, and one that I will never ever forget. So I am really, really proud to be able to share this photo with a lot of people. Again, as I'm sure you can guess, if you buy one of these calendars, the money that you are spending on them goes towards fundraising. It goes towards the work they do in Africa with rangers, with rhinos, where they are helping communities who would otherwise, sadly, through no fault of their own in many instances, rely on the rhino trade. And they're helping communities, they're helping their governments stay away from this kind of criminal activity, because I don't know, why would you want to kill that? I don't understand it. So if you can, please either go and pick up a calendar for Save the Rhino or the Countryside Alliance, or do both, because I personally feel that you can never have too many calendars, and I'm doubly hoping that next year we will be able to fill our calendars a lot more than we have been able to this year. And that is everything. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in and watching the film. I do appreciate that it probably seemed a bit me at times, but I genuinely thought, given the support that you've given us over the years, that you would be genuinely interested in the stories I've written in my new podcast, and would undoubtedly be looking for some fantastic Christmas presents, because what says I love you more than a calendar? Anyway, because there will be no Christmas in the Cottage video this year, I do just want to say to you all, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and an even better New Year. I leave you now from a little snippet from my podcast, The Weird and Wonderful Tales of Blackmore and Broad, from our pilot episode called Dead on Arrival. I will see you next time. Good night.
The Weird and Wonderful Tales of Blackmore and Broad.
Episode 1. Dead on Arrival.
God, I think I would actually prefer to kill myself than do this right now.
Well, if you could just wait until we get inside before you do, we'd make things an awful lot easier. Anyway, you seemed all fine about it at the induction day.
Yes, well, that was actually largely thanks to the distinct lack of actual customers.
Oh, come on, misery guts. It's not like they're going to cause us any problems, are they? It'll be fun.
I'm not sure you're allowed to find this job fun.
Stop moaning and come on, Broad. Let's at least get inside the new office on time.
Good. There's actually no one here. Ironically, it is actually as silent as the grave. Good first impression.
I'm sure they're just having morning something. Oh, look, there's a buzzer thing. Yeah, press that.
Not sure that's entirely appropriate. Our two newest recruits. May I be the first to welcome you both, not to only the oldest and most noble job in human existence, but also the most secure. For as we like to say, no matter what else goes on in this mad old world, you can always rely on the fact that people are always gonna die. It's a cheery way to start a Monday morning. But I'm afraid you're going to have to wait for the grand tour. We've just had a call from our old friends over at the constabulary. They have a stiffy they'd like you to go and sort out for them.
A stiff? What? I didn't. We don't provide that sort of service, do we?
A body, Blackmore. They have a body for us to go and pick up.
Oh, right, yes. Well, that's good news.